Not everyone buys a car, falls in love with it, and talks about the company endlessly. But alas, I'm not alone in this world, as my guest today has been forced to talk to strangers on YouTube about his Tesla addiction, rather than bore his family and friends to death. Please welcome Ryan Cowan, all the way from the other side of Earth. How weird is that, by the way? The fact that you're the other side of the planet upside down now, and we're just talking to each other. I'll ignore that fact and just try and be very professional and talk about Tesla. How are you, Ryan? You okay?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
That's all right. Good. So let's start at the beginning. What initially tempted you into buying a Tesla in the first place, and how has that impacted your life?
Oh, massive impact on my life. Didn't see it coming, to be honest. But, for a lot of people, lockdowns, or in Australia, lockdowns were pretty intense, and it shook a lot of people up. We were kind of just closed in our houses and thinking about alternative lives that we could explore. I ended up quitting my job, selling my house, buying a Model 3, and with the capital from selling the house, put it all in Tesla stock. So that was a crazy year. But I then started making content, which I never really thought would work out. It was just a hobby. Like, I just loved the brand and what they were doing. And it's that classic story of like, why isn't everyone talking about this? Like, this car is insane. And so I just wanted to share that. Started on TikTok and YouTube, and then kind of just got better at making videos the more I did it. And here I am today. It's like now my full-time gig. I'm very grateful. Like, I've got this Powerwall on the side of my house, this Model Y in the driveway, Starlink on the roof, as we spoke about in the other video. Yeah. So it's a pinch myself moment.
It's remarkable how similar our stories are, because we sold our house in order to get some money and then invest in Tesla, and bought a Tesla, and then ended up on YouTube as well. It's quite strange, isn't it? No intention of following that path, and didn't know anything that was coming. But you've got to, I guess these light bulbs are going off every moment of every day in people's minds when they're first having a test drive of a Tesla. And then they just go down the path of thinking about, I could put some solar on my roof and such. But anyway, Ryan's Model Y, which is what your channel is. So, talk to me about the Tesla Model Y ownership experience then. How has that car evolved? What do you think of your old Model Y now you've been in the new one?
Yeah, the new one is incredible. It's interesting. I had that on loan from Tesla for a week, and I loved it. It feels like it's 30-40% better all round. Like, everything you touch is being improved upon. But you get back into our old Model Y, which is a 2022, and it still feels really relevant. It runs the same software. It has the same dash cam, Sentry mode, like all these key features that make Tesla great and that still put it ahead of the competition is still in the 2022 Model Y. So I actually ended that sort of main video by suggesting to people, maybe you should also consider, if you're considering the new one, like a really good price on an older Model Y or a previous generation Model Y. You might be saving 15, 20 grand in some cases. And a lot of the features that maybe you care about, especially if it's your first EV, you're going to find in the previous gen. So that was an interesting experience. But just to go back to the sort of origin, started with the Model 3. And then when the Model Y came to Australia, we swapped it for just wanting a bigger size. A very similar type of car, as you know, but just having all that extra space has been amazing for us. Like, just, incredible car. You probably can understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah. It just made me think of a chap I spoke to a little while ago. He had a 200,000 mile Model S, but it paid for the updated computer. So inside the old Model S was the brand new user interface, and it just looked brand new. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is such an old car, and you just get an upgrade like that, and you're bang up to date with it. That's the future proofness of Teslas, isn't it? When you've just got a screen, you could just constantly update it. But
I can't think of a better car to own long term. Like, you talk over a 10-year period, like, you factor in the savings, you factor in the software updates that are just so epic, you factor in the low maintenance and the low running costs. Like, there's just so much, and I cannot recommend a car more than like even a secondhand Model 3, for example. You can get them really affordably at the moment. Going back to like that Model S owner that's done all those miles too, the one thing that would get me is the user interface lagging and like not being able to have the latest software updates. So updating the computer, or, I'm sure he's updated to the latest chip, would make a huge difference because the car's still great.
Let's touch on Australian Tesla perception then. So for some reason, I expect everyone in Australia to be level-headed, straight-talking, no-nonsense car enthusiasts. So what's people's general perception of Tesla and just electric cars in general? Speak on behalf of every Australian. Go.
Yeah, I would say it's been really challenging. A lot of backlash for EVs. People feel generally that they're being forced into them. The mainstream media here does not like Tesla, no surprise. They don't love EVs. There was probably a sort of a little period there where they were getting pushed in a positive light, but a lot of the stories you see are negative, and so many people watch mainstream media here. So that has been really challenging. I actually find that in my content, like when I reach an audience that's supportive of EVs and renewables and stuff, that's like one place sometimes where I feel like I can get some positive feedback, because just speaking to friends and family and just mainstream sort of people, it's like, wow, bang my head against the wall, like they do not get it. So yeah, that can be really frustrating. But times are changing. It just feels slow here.
So as for the reality of it though, as you've been driving a Tesla for so long, is charging infrastructure all perfectly adequate for Tesla owners and other EV owners, or is there a lot more to do?
There's more to do, but it's pretty good. It's never been an issue for us. I just love with Tesla Superchargers, you can pull in and there's all these stalls waiting for you. No other network offers that. It's like you could be in the middle of nowhere and there's one station, and you got to wait, or it's down. It would be this. It's kind of the same everywhere in the world. No one is really putting the effort into the charging setup on the stations in terms of like uptime and just reliability and ease of use than Tesla is. So, it's great that other brands can now use some superchargers, but, the experience is just the ultimate having a Tesla.
Can you actually go for the entire East Coast now then? Sort of south to
north? You could. I mean, many people have gone around the country many times, and there's some very remote places in Australia, and they've been able to charge. So,
I hear it's quite big over there.
Yeah.
Well, as with the UK, Australia has got a lot of other EV choices. If you couldn't have a Tesla, what would it be?
Ooh. And money wasn't an object. I test drove a BMW iX. That was a beautiful car. Really surprised me, because I'd been driving a lot of EVs at that time, like Kia EV9, Hyundai Ioniq, just going through the competition, Polestar, and I was really disappointed. I was like, how are people buying these over Teslas? The BMW was the only one that I got into that I could kind of see why people would go for that. It was like a much more luxurious experience. The suspension was just phenomenal. There was still areas that Tesla was ahead, especially in technology, but I could see why that car appealed to people. Maybe Kia and Hyundai are starting to get there, but Tesla is just so ahead of the game, in my opinion. I wish more people would consider Tesla over some of these other brands. Polestar comes to mind because I feel like you make a lot of sacrifices for this brand that's very reliant on marketing, but the product itself, in my experience, has not been that amazing, and I've spent a fair bit of time in their cars. So
let's move to the future then, shall we? So for starters, what are you expecting Tesla's soon to be released more affordable cars to be? Do you think they're going to be new models entirely, or stripped back basic Model 3s and Model Ys? And I'm putting you on the spot because I realize I haven't asked you about, I'm going to ask you about that question, but I assume you sort of been thinking about this as well. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. It's a very exciting time to be a Tesla investor because there's a lot that's happening. We got some clues on the latest earnings call as to what those new affordable models might look like. I've always held the opinion that they're going to be very similar to a 3 and a Y. And I think, in my opinion, that was confirmed on the latest earnings call. Probably the form factor will be slightly different, but they'll look and feel very similar. I'm so excited. Some people hate that there's more affordable models coming because they feel it's going to devalue their car. I'm all for it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I am so excited for more people because it's the number one barrier, especially speaking to like young Australians that want EVs, but they can't afford them. I really believe that Tesla can offer a great affordable car because of their software advantage. You know, you can have the same software. What really the number one thing for me in the car is the software. You can have that in the most affordable model and you drop out some of the hardware features. So I think it's going to be really exciting to see what they come up with. Where's your head at?
A bit of frustration, really. I would have loved some clarity because I've been going back and forward with this for so long. It's just, but you know, they can't speak. They can't say exactly what their plans are going to be for the Osborne effect, can they? If they're going to tell people there's a cheaper model coming out, then people might hold off buying it. So I get it, but. Obviously, originally, that NV91 project was meant to be the more affordable compact Model 2, whatever on earth it's going to be called. That was shelved, wasn't it? But then they're making this, going to be making this new, more affordable car on the current manufacturing lines. So we're still going to get a more affordable car. We just don't know what it is. I'd love to see a smaller hatchback. That would be brilliant, I think, for European market, Chinese market. But I really don't know. It might just be the same thing as a Model Y, just with a smaller battery pack and stripped out. But there's one thing for sure, though. It will still have a full suite of cameras and be autonomous ready, won't it? So let's talk about autonomy, I suppose. Just the other day, Tesla showed us that it's already trialing a Robotaxi service, isn't it? So how do you think this is going to impact things like for me, I think of the car ownership model, because I think in a world full of autonomous, affordable vehicles, they will necessarily have to be safer than human drivers. They will be more affordable to run. They'll be more affordable for users. This has the potential to disrupt the automotive industry like nothing else. And I can't believe people aren't really putting these two and two together, because it's not just other autonomous companies that's going to disrupt. It's not just Uber that is going to disrupt because it'll be a cheaper service. It's the whole car ownership model. That changes everything. I mean, what are your thoughts on autonomy and how this plays out?
Excited to see that video of like the Robotaxi app and how it was working inside the car, the fact that employees internally had been using it. That was a really exciting moment to just see that. The other thing that's really cool to see is the cars driving out of the factory. It's just like, wow, the execution is phenomenal. And everyone says, oh, other car brands have been doing that for years. It's not the same. So the way that Tesla are going about this is a ground up approach. The vertical integration is nuts. I think that, to your point, this is a game-changing moment. I think the next 6 months are going to prove that. It's going to blow people's minds. They don't believe that it's possible. I'm all on board. I think that they've proven that they're very close. And certainly all the team resharing these videos, like the Tesla team, they're also very confident. Come the end of this year, everyone around the world will know that Teslas can do this.
Yeah, because it's my frustration that I'm hearing, automotive journalists and other sort of EV-centric channels, that they sound like they just don't understand Tesla's approach to solving autonomy. Because all these other autonomous companies, they're just in a tiny little ring-fenced area, with predefined maps and stuff. They can't go out of those areas. The thing that Tesla's got, isn't it, is you can just drop a Tesla anywhere on Earth and it will use its eyes and its vision to be able to drive. I mean, that's a generalized solution to autonomy that's not coming from any other company. And I think, a winner is going to take most of this market. I think the only success for other companies is to integrate Tesla's hardware into their vehicles and have to pay for their software as well. That seems to be the only way any other company is going to keep up with a car that can literally drive itself. What an amazing time to witness, isn't it? That's why it's fun, isn't it? I guess that's why we're following Tesla's journey.
It is truly going to be amazing. Yeah.
Let's touch on Optimus then while we're here. I really don't think people understand the implications of legitimately useful humanoid robots, because it seems so stupid and sci-fi, doesn't it, right now? But we just happen to be alive at the perfect time to witness AI, robotics, and Tesla come together like a sort of terrifying but optimistic convergence of technology that could reshape our world for the better. Optimistically, or worst case, it could end humanity. So what's your feelings on all that?
Oh, mate, I'm so positive about it. There's a lot of negativity that I've heard from just the general public around humanoids. You look at what's happening with Robotaxi and FSD, like we're going to see those fruits in the next 1 to 2 years in terms of like really making an impact on the company. You know, we're in a very exciting time because we're going to get this wave of autonomous driving. And then the wave after that is going to be Optimus. And in both cases, I can't see much competition. And I'm not sure how people would be able to catch up. You know, if anyone was going to do it, I follow Tesla so closely, and I genuinely believe they'll be able to deliver an incredible product in Optimus. There's so many applications. There's so many, and it's going to be in factories first before it gets into the sort of residential environment. But you know, just as a normal person, I can't wait for it to be in a residential environment. Like, put that thing to work. It's gonna be in our lifetime. You know, you think about our kids growing up. It's just like totally different world. You know, they're not going to need to learn how to drive. They probably will never learn how to drive. I'm excited by it. I can see why people get fearful, but I think if it's done right, which I believe Tesla is geared to do it the right way, that this is going to be epic in a good way.
That's excitement that I have that overwhelms me sometimes. I just look at where we are. We just happen to have been born right now when Tesla is taking on these monumental, you know, world-changing products and stuff. It has the opportunity at least to really change the future of humanity and for our kids. The idea of just taking Tesla away and all the products that it's working on, you know, then what are we left with? What are we looking forward to? I mean, it really just seemed that big for me. It's like there's no other company doing as much to improve the chances of our survival, even with SpaceX. And, you know, if you just look beyond yourself and look at us as a species, that's the thing that excites me.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You take Tesla away and what are we left with? The way that they're changing so many industries, even just like the insurance with the cars. Like the way that the Tesla insurance in the US integrates with the car data to give you better insurance prices. Like there's so many different ways that you can sort of dive into this multi-layered business, which people often refer to as like many startups in one. Totally is. It's really frustrating when you see all that hate because the work that they're doing in so many areas, and Elon heads up all of these, it's so phenomenal. So I don't get it, but I wish more people understood the Tesla business specifically. And I think that will become more apparent when, you know, you can't deny it, when there's Robotaxi rolled out worldwide, when Optimus is in production and no one else is catching. Like there's always going to be the haters, but Tesla, in my opinion, will keep winning.
And it's remembering where we are today as well, isn't it? What is there? Like 10 million plus Teslas already in the world. There's Powerwalls on millions of homes. There's mega packs, you know, on grid scale utility projects that are really helping to, you know, cut down power consumption and cheaper prices. You know, it's already here, isn't it? Humanity is already benefiting big style. It's just we sort of forget where we are sometimes. It's already happening. You know, all this excitement for the future is one thing, but let's remember where we are now. And there's a lot of positives on planet Earth thanks to Elon Musk and Tesla. So
the only thing that I would say to that too, which is kind of like just totally my opinion, is Tesla often strikes me as like quite a frugal company. Like they don't splurge on advertising, obviously. They don't like, you know, they spend a lot on R&D and they've got some great things in the pipeline, I'm sure. But they're kind of sometimes feels like, yes, they're taking huge risks in big pieces, but then a lot of the small things like they ignore. I would love it if they just sort of like went all out, like Tesla insurance, as I spoke about, another example. I would love for them to just try and like have an entire team that's focused on bringing that out worldwide. But that's just one example, like splurge on, you know, but they got a business case for everything. I'm, you know, just a random person making comment. But I think everyone would agree, like, could you have brought out the more affordable model, you know, a year or two ago? I get it that the big plan is autonomy and Optimus, but it'd just be, even just to see some Tesla ads on the TV would be nice.
Yeah. So Ryan, your channel is amazing. You are wonderfully concise with your videos. I'd highly recommend all my viewers go and subscribe to Ryan's Model Y on YouTube. But one more thing, we're going to carry on this conversation on my Patreon page, where I've got lots of fun questions to ask Ryan. So join us at patreon.com/Tesla Jigsaw. And if you want to hear our discussion about Ryan building his own eco home and living the Tesla ecosystem dream, click this one next. I'm Will. This is the Tesla Jigsaw. Thank you, Patreons. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.